This is like a comfortable pillow. It's actually the REI Flash 22 backpack, and in this video I'm going to walk you through my impressions of it. It's a really great pack. I've been using it for about 150 miles now, and I just used it yesterday. I refilled it with water and it's packed up again. And in the second half of the video I'll just do a little quick gear haul out. I'll show you what I have in here and what I'm using these days, because I know people are interested in that as well. So anyway, let's dive in. So first off, I got this pack because it's light. I've been on a little bit of a quest to get lighter and lighter because I find my hiking more enjoyable when I'm not hauling around a bunch of stuff. So I wanted to get a light pack that also was functional and can handle basically 3-season hiking. And I got the REI Flash 22. Now I had an older version. This is the, I guess, 2021 version that I'm going to be talking about, and they improve it a little bit every year. Hopefully it's an improvement when they change things, but who knows, depending on what you're into. But anyway, this is only 13 ounces. This weighs less than a pound, just a little bit over 3/4 of a pound. So that's why I got it. It was very, very light, and I wanted to do some long hikes with a really light pack like this and see what it was like. Also talk about how it compares to a pack like the Osprey Talon Pro 30 Pro, whatever it is, which weighs about 2.5 pounds, almost 2.5 times or more than 2.5 times as much as this pack. So there's some compromises. I'll get into that in a second, but let's dive in on the Flash 22. All right, first off, just one thing to note, it's super light, so it doesn't have really any structure to it. It's basically like a floppy bag, and that's fine. It sounds worse than it is, but it's essentially like a floppy, whatever this is, blue, eco-friendly nylon type thing that fits on your back. Right now I have it loaded up for a 22-mile hike, so I have a lot of stuff in here in the mountains. And one thing to note right away is that it's pretty full, and it's a 22-liter pack, but it's pretty full, and it's heavy. Kind of holds its shape, you can see, like this. The one thing that's weird, or I don't know if it's weird, but it's just annoying, is that if you look at the back, I have 3 liters of water in here, and you can see that the back is bulging out like this. So when it's totally full, the back bulges out. Now, not the worst thing in the world. Basically what it does is it kind of like sits up on your back a little bit, and obviously as the water goes down, this flattens out. But just something to be aware of. If you're really filling this up, it's going to be kind of stuffed like a sausage. Again, I did a bunch of hikes, really long hikes with this, and I got used to it. It wasn't a problem, and at the end of the day, I took it off and I felt fine. But just something to be aware of. If you have less gear in here or less water, this will be flat on the back right there. Another thing to note is this has an optional hip belt, which I have taken off. Now, hip belts are they're a sticky subject. People get emotional about hip belts, kind of like ankle support on boots or trekking poles. I've lately felt that I don't need the hip belts. It's nice if you're carrying a lot of weight. It puts some of the weight onto your hips as opposed to your shoulders. But for day hiking, like this is under 20 pounds, I don't need to take that weight off my shoulders. It's not that much of a big deal. And it does, occasionally chafe, and it kind of goes around. It just seemed unnecessary. So I wanted to try a pack where I could take the hip belts off. I've taken the hip belts off, and it's fine. It's great. I use the shoulder straps with the sternum strap buckled, and it's not a problem. I didn't find the lack of a hip belt to be any more stressful on my shoulders. I didn't find the pack to be whipping around. I wasn't doing any hardcore like scrambling or anything, just normal hiking. No hip belt was totally fine for me on this. If you're not married to a hip belt or don't really care about it, try hiking without it. You might like it better. All right, let's talk about the pockets. On the outside, we have these 2 big mesh pockets. Right now I have a headlamp in there. These will fit 1.5 liter water bottles, like smart water bottles. They'll fit snacks, and you can reach back with your hands to get in and out. It's not super easy, but you can definitely do it. You can reach around on the back on this. It's got a little thing of webbing here where you can attach things. It also has a buckle here to open up this lid area. And the other thing I want to talk about that I have stowed away are the attachments for trekking poles. And the nice thing is you can stow them away. Here, I'm going to pull it out for you. You can see I have this up here. I could put a trekking pole in, and then there's a loop on the bottom, which I also stowed away. So if you're not using these attachments on the outside, you just put them away, and it's great. On the other side, we have a padded back. We have padded shoulder straps. You can run your hydration hose through this strap right here, or you can run it through this. You can clip things into there, clip them on. There's no pockets here, but you could probably easily get a pocket that you could clip onto that. Up top, you have a handle to lift it up. On this side, what I find handy is you have a small pocket up here where you can store things like snacks or whatever, sunglasses, small pocket that works great. And it's kind of representative of this pack. It has sort of everything you need and nothing you don't for day hiking, which is why it's great. To get into the inside, very easy. Clip this, and then there's a drawstring that opens easily like that. And then you have your inside pocket. One thing I forgot all about, which I should show you, which is important, is there's a pocket right inside of here that is sort of flat and is great for maps and other things right there. So you could put a layer, you could put maps, you could put whatever, headlamp in there, snacks, really nice for that. So you have two pockets on the outside without having to open it. You have this one, and you have this top one right here. On the inside, let's do the loadout. I have a long sleeve because I'm going into the mountains. I have a BeFree water filter, which I use as like my backup when my hydration bladder is done. 3 liters of water in here, which is a lot. I'm going out for 20 plus miles, so I'm gonna need this. And that fits in an internal pocket right down there. You have a Velcro hang, so you can hang it so it doesn't fall down and collapse. And there's also a hole in the back where you can run the tube through. So really easy, and it's also easy when it's in there. If you have a bladder like this, it can sit easily in there. You can detach the bladder, leave this hooked up to the pack, refill, put it back in, and snap it back in, all pretty easy. And if you don't want to use the hydration bladder, you can easily fit 2 water bottles on the sides over here. Got a foldable trekking pole, and in this case, the back is flat. So I've been hiking with this for this setup, I don't know, 40 miles, and it's solid. It feels really comfortable. And then in the bottom of this, I have a waterproof liner that I keep like my emergency kind of gear that I don't need to get to a lot right in there. I have a bug net so I don't get eaten. Batteries. Here's the hip belt. This is the hip belt that detaches. Looks like I've been carrying that around with me, I guess in case I needed it, but you can easily put it back on. It's pretty minimal, but it will do the job if you need it to. And that's all she wrote. That's everything I have in there. And again, this is enough for me to go out for a day in the mountains, not a problem. Now on the inside, this is gonna be hard to show you. What I like on the inside are these 2 pockets up top here. There's one pocket that has a lanyard with a hook so you can put your keys in there, and then they fit nicely into this pocket right here. And then right next to that is a mesh pocket which can easily fit your phone or a wallet and keeps it safe and snug in there. So on the inside, you have those pockets, but otherwise it's just a big space like that. So that's it on the inside. You can see there's quite a bit of space, really well thought out. The side pockets, big inside space for things that you need once in a while. 2 outside pockets, one here, one up top for the things you need to get to. Really, really well thought out, super minimal, only the things you really need and not what you don't. Now, in terms of downsides, it feels like a bag hanging off your back. It's so lightweight, there's no real structure to it. You can see it just sort of flops around. It's just this nylon, and that's fine. I think for most people who don't carry a lot of stuff in the backcountry, you know, this will be a perfect day pack for you. It's light, you're not carrying any more weight than you need to, and you know, it gets the job done. Now, my other pack that I really love, the Osprey Talon Pro 30 and the Talon 2, these feel much different. When this is on my back, the cut of it and the way that it's shaped makes it feel balanced. The weight's up a little bit. It doesn't hang like a sack off your back. It's sort of pushing the weight up. So it feels more balanced. It feels way more connected to my body. And by doing that, it doesn't make you feel like it's heavier. It feels just as light as this thing does, even though it's not. And you know, we're talking about a 1.5 pound difference between these packs, but because this is cut differently and it's a little more balanced in terms of the way the cut is, it feels more like it's part of my body than this. So it's a trade-off, right? Do you go with light or do you go with something that feels more like your body? I'd say if you're hiking longer distances, I'm probably gonna go back to the Osprey Talon Pro, but for shorter day hikes, I'll use this REI Flash 22. So that's it on the Flash. If you have any questions, just leave me a question in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, but I think this is a solid day pack, especially, I think it's like 50, 55 bucks. I mean, you can't go wrong with this. I saw somebody in the comments complaining that his got holes in it after 2 years. I think for 50 bucks, holes after constant use of 2 years is, you know, par for the course. But anyway, good pack, lightweight, and I think it'll be a good fit for people who aren't out for, you know, long day hikes. All right, let's just quickly run through the gear here. I'll show you what I got. I know people love this. I've got a Ben's head net, so I don't get bitten by mosquitoes. It's the summer, and this is a great thing to always have. I've been caught without one of these head nets before, and it's never fun to have flies in your face when you're climbing a big mountain and sweating. The Katadyn BeFree water filter, 1 liter. You can buy other attachments for the bottom to make this bigger. I carry this as my backup, so I'll have 3 liters or less of water in my Osprey hydration bladder. When I run out of this, I'll go to this. Before that, I had a Sawyer Squeeze, which works well. That just happened to die in the middle of a camping trip I took a few weeks ago, so I've had this and I've been using it, and it's great. You just fill it up and you drink from it. The only problem is it doesn't, it kind of flops around, so it's kind of hard in the side pockets when it gets you know, less full to put it back into the side pockets. And it's not a whole lot of water. It'll last you for a while, but not a long while. But again, you can get different bottoms for it and do, I think, up to like 3, probably more liters. So that's an option. The Sawyer Squeeze is still great too. I used mine for, I don't know, 3.5, 4 years before it finally died, pretty regularly. So that's cool. I've got an Anker battery power pack, which I use to power my GPS, my iPhone. I've got a couple of these short cables in there, extra memory cards and all that fun stuff. Got a long sleeve hoodie, which is great for the sun, great for the cold, and it's lightweight, quick dry, all of that good stuff. Now I have this Osprey waterproof liner. It's super light. It might be probably like an ounce maybe, but I used it obviously in the REI pack. It's waterproof. If I need extra storage or from like a survival situation, I could probably carry water in here. Really easy, and a pack liner is a must if you're hiking in wet climates. You know, you can get the rain cover for the outside. I found that the pack liner is much more effective at keeping things dry. One thing I should mention that I don't have here that's home charging right now is my Garmin GPS Map 66i, which I use as my inReach device, and I use as a secondary navigation device in conjunction with my iPhone and Gaia GPS. So that's what I'm using there. Here's my real emergency kit: trowel, toilet paper, and a little hand sanitizer. I have a light windproof shell here that I use if it rains out, and it folds up into this nice little pocket. Very nice. This is a cool, I don't think they make this anymore, but there's a Patagonia one that you can get, and it weighs nothing. I have rain pants, same idea. If it starts raining out, I'm prepared. If I have to stay out overnight, I have something that's a little bit warmer. And these are Outdoor Research, basically lightweight rain pants, good to have in the pack in case of an emergency. Then I have my survival kit. I'm a big fan of Ziploc bags. Band-Aids, ibuprofen, antibiotic, duct tape, a little medical kit, compass, extra bite valve. The downside of these Ospreys is if you bite really hard on the valve, it can start leaking, which is a pain. So I carry another one. I think it's $6 just in case. You can get other bite valves too if you don't like this one or if you want something different, but I think it works very well. You just have to not chew on it like a beaver. I have this SOL USB chargeable lighter, flips up, kind of windproof, and you can start a flame with the USB charging. There you can kind of see it. And that will light pretty much anything. It's the same technology I think they use in like vaping. But anyway, cool device. It's also a flashlight on the back. Good stuff. I have a little piece of cordage for who knows what. Who knows what in a good way, not who knows what. Why do I have that? I have a whistle. There's also a whistle on the stern strap of my backpack. Lighter. Backup headlamp. Now my headlamp that I have charges somewhere. I have a headlamp that is a USB charger, so I can just charge it with my normal charging kit. So I basically carry one USB charger. I can charge my phone, my GPS, that lighter, and my headlamp. So that's all good. And then the last thing in here is a SOL bivvy sack. So essentially like a lightweight sleeping bag. If I have to spend the night outside, I can go into this thing. I can also stuff it with like dead leaves and organic matter if I need to make it warmer on the inside. So that's it. That's all the stuff I have. Hopefully this was helpful. If you liked it, as always, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. If you have any questions or you're using some gear that you think I should be aware of and try out, just leave me a comment and I will check it all out. All right, guys, I'll see you later.